Hello and welcome back to Build with the Boys. I'm Scott and we have got issue 28 of Build the Disney Doll's House. Interesting on this one because we're continuing with the basement floor, but we get our first light. So our first electronics that are going to be going into the house. Now this is slightly different to the lights in a lot of the rooms because this isn't wired. This is a standalone light that goes in and out of a room. There are actually 4 of these to build. So we're building the Tinkerbell lantern today for Peter Pan's room, but we will also have a lighthouse that goes in Donald's room. That's the light for that one. We have a lamp that goes in the Aristocats room, and we also have a fireplace that goes in Belle's room. Those are all standalone lights that are powered by button cell batteries. Now, quick note on button cell batteries. If you are going to let kids play with this, my advice is you either do it under supervision or you remove these lights from the house. So because these just take them out if you're going to let kids play with this, because if kids swallow button cell batteries, terrible things happen, really bad. So be very conscious of letting little ones play with these things, because button cell batteries are horrendous if swallowed. So just a word to the wise. We're going to get into this. We're going to start by building this lantern. Now I know a lot of you have been panicking about electrics. It really is simple. Honestly, don't panic about this. This is all plug and play stuff. We'll take you through it, and you can see it's not that complicated. And at the end of it, you'll have something you can be proud of. You'll have a little light that you built. So let's get into it. Let's get this built. Okay, so here's everything we get to build the light. Now we have the cover itself. We have this switch here, the 2 base parts, and our electrics. So let's get a zoom on this. Right, so taking this part out, you'll find our battery underneath. Now, you have a textured side and you have a flat side. Textured side down. So when you put this battery in, you're just going to slot this in there. It's going to be textured side down. So switches at the bottom. Let's see if that works. It does. So that's good. So electrics work. Right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this base. We're going to take the actual dresser itself. And I need to use this to get that out. This switch here. Now, the switch is going to go in there. It doesn't matter which way around this switch goes. So the switch just slots into the bottom like that. Now, this is where the instructions get a little bit hokey. Now, what you will see is if you look in the bottom, there is a short piece at the front, large piece at the back. So you need to make sure that matches. Large piece at the back, short piece at the front. So that's the way round we will be going on this. Now, what you need is the exposed electrics. This is the back. That's what we're looking at here. So this is the front. Hold on. This is the front. This is the back. So we need the exposed electrics at the back. So where the longer parts are there, that's how we'd be. Okay? So that's how we're going to be in there. Now it tells you to do this and then drop that on top. I can't see that being the best way of doing this. So again, with your longer pieces that way, what we're going to do is we're going to go in from the top. I'm going to slot that one in there, and that should hold quite nicely in place. So that's there. Now what we're going to do is, rather than turn this upside down because it'll fall out, we're going to fold it in. And I'm hoping this will work. And it does. There you go. That's how simple that is. So that's that done, and now all we're going to do is we're going to take this part here, that's going to sit on there, and now hopefully when we press the button, Tinkerbell's lantern lights up. And it really is that simple. I mean, again, if you do it the way they tell you to do it in the magazine, you might have problems getting that light through the hole. Now all of this comes apart, none of this glues in place. This is so you can take the batteries out and change them. But yeah, if you do it the way I've just shown you, you'll do it first time. Otherwise you're going to be trying to lower this down over a very large board, and it's going to wobble about, but you can see, there you go, it's a 30-second job. But there are our first light. Now you can see how bright that is. Now what you can do, if you are artistic enough, you could, if I show you, this is insulation tape. Now if you can sketch on a piece of paper, if you attach this to the back of a piece of paper and you sketched a picture of Tinkerbell's outline, cut it out with your craft knife, you could then peel that tape off and you could stick it to the back of this lantern. So when you turn this on, you would have a silhouette of Tinkerbell in the back. Now to show you what I'm talking about, let's see if I can do this with a tiny piece of tape. Now it's not, this isn't going to look like Tinkerbell, it's going to look nothing like Tinkerbell. I'm literally just going to take a shaving off so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's going to come out on camera or not. But let's take this slice of this here, and let's drop that on there. So you see what I'm saying? You'd have a silhouette in there. So she would then cast on the wall. So you could see her inside. So you put it at the back, you would get the image of her inside the lantern. So that's just something you can do. Again, if you're that, I mean, I wouldn't advise doing this, but if you are crafty enough and you're a dab hand with acrylics, you could acrylic paint a silhouette onto the back of this. I wouldn't advise that. Go the tape method. You just need some very precision cutting, and then you can put Tinkerbell inside your lantern. And really rather lovely that is. But you've seen how simple that is to go together. Honestly, a kid could do that. So don't panic about putting these electrics together. It is very simple. Just do as I said. Put the microchip into the top first, and then fold the bottom in place. And there you go. Lovely. Now let's get this floor built. So here are our parts to continue with our floor. Now we're going to use the exact same method we used in 27, where when you put these together, so UCC, the letter's going to be facing down, and then when you've got the letters on these bars, they're going to be facing outwards. So as long as your letters face outwards and your letters face down as you're building this, everything is going to be just fine. So starting with the smallest of our floor plans, this is floor panel C, which gets confusing because it's got a B on it, but if you check your index in your magazine, this is floor panel C. Now we know that the B on here needs to be facing down, so this is how we are working with this piece. So then we're going to take our beam, which is beam 6, and that is marked with a B. So that would be this one here. And what we're going to do is with the letter on the outside, we're going to be quite precision with the glue. So this isn't a case of just smearing. So I'll show you where the glue is going on this one. Right, so we are going on the end here. So there's some along there, and then we are going, do we do that entire section? No, so we do the middle of this section. So what we're going to do, as there is a bit of judgment call here, we're going to go along here, and about there is going to do us. And then finally, we are going to do about 2/3 of this section. So we are going to go along here to about there. So that's where we are. Right, taking this one here, again, remembering to keep your letter on the outside, we're going to flip this one over. So your B is going to be facing out and it's going to be down here. And we are going into the furthest hole along. So we're going into here. So that one's going to push down there. And then this one is going to push down there. So there we go. This is our first one in place. So now it's asking me to flip this one over. So we're going to flip this one over, and we're going to make sure it's nice and flat. We're going to apply some glue along here, and along here, along here, along here, and just a touch on this little nubby part there. So there we are. So if I can just show the nub part, just here it's asking us to put a tiny drop of glue. So that goes on there. And then we are going to take our second panel, so the larger of the two panels that comes in this pack, we are going to apply glue to the sides of. So we apply glue to the edge of this panel. Now again, we're going the opposite way now. So because we're working the right way up, our letters are going to be facing upwards at this point. So when we come into here, just move back slightly, we're going to attach this to this panel here, over the tabs, and push down. So there we go, that one in place, that one there, and push down. So it will be in place like so. Okay, can flip that one over. So we'll try nice and straight. There we go. So that's how we're looking at this point. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to place beam 7, and that's the one marked C. So that's this one here. And what we're going to do with that is this is going to go right along the edge. So again, that's going to go there. This is the edge we are dealing with here, along this section. So let's get that lined up properly. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to be going along here. So that's where we're going to go on this one. I'll get that glued up and we'll get that installed. So that's where the glue is going on this one. Again, you don't smear it along the whole thing because it's just going, you'll see where this is going. So we need our letter C on the outside, so it's going to go that way around. So then we're going to install into that peg there, into that hole, and that peg into that hole. And then we push down. And that's that one in place. So that leaves us with, we've got beams D and G left to go. So D is this one here. Where's that going? Yep, okay. So let's slightly rotate this so we can see what we're working with. Let's push down flat. Right, so C is going to go into here. So D is going to be on the outside like that. It's going to go into here. No, it's not. Let's have a look where you're going. We don't want to put this in wrong. Okay, so it leaves a fairly hefty gap. So D is going to go that way around. Right. So this does contradict what it's been doing up to this point, because that would have to go that way around. So the D would have to be facing inwards on this one. That is unusual. That is unusual. I don't know if that's mistaken the instructions or not, but that seems unusual. Yeah, that's what I was saying to do it. Let's have a look, just in case it will go another way and we're just ham-fisting it. Yeah, we are. That's me being an idiot. There it goes. The D does go on the outside. So that's where we're going to go in. I'll get this one glued up and we'll get that installed. This one is just a full glue in. We glue all of it. And then we're going to go in here, here, and here with our D facing the outside. Nice and pushed down, nice and flush, because you want this all to sit flat. So that's that one. And that leaves us only with beam 9, which is marked with a G. That's this one here. And we're going to see where that one's going to go. So we're going to spin this round. And G is going to be facing down. Yep. So our G is going to face down. So we're going to slot over here and here like that, and that's how that one's going to go in. So we'll get that glued up and we'll get that installed. So here we go. Here we're leaving the G kind of exposed of glue. It doesn't need any of that. Flipping it over, it's going to hook over this section here and meet with that beam there, and down we press. A lot of glue on this one, and now you need to leave it to dry. But as I said, you lucky people, I'll carry on going so you can see how the next part attaches, because what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over and we are going to attach it to the piece we made in 27. So here's our panel from 27, and what we're going to do is we're going to apply glue to this section here. So it's that there, nice and glued up. Along here as well, so along these parts here, along here, along here, and along our beam here. So along there, there, and along there. Okay. Now, taking the floor panel we've just built, and mine's still wet, so I'm not, I want to go mad with this. Okay, we're going to slot this in place. And juggle it again. Let yours dry. I'm just doing this so you can see it being done. There we go. That one's in. That one doesn't want to play ball. There we go. That one's in, that one's in, that one's in. And there we have it. Now, I would advise, when you get to this stage, some weights. So some candles or some jars, anything you need that will just books, anything that will just weigh this down, hold it in place. Tidy up your glue. Again, push it into the creases, give it an extra bond. But you want this to set flat, so make sure all of these panels are held down, weighted down, and give it the time to dry, give it the time to set, let it do its thing, let the glue do its work, and you'll be good. And that is all there is to do in this pack. That's it, that's pack 28 done. Now again, if you take your time, if you read your instructions, this is easy. If you don't and you rush through it, you take a glance and you go, oh, I've got it, you'll make mistakes. So again, just using the proviso that the top part of this is where the letters go. Okay, so when you're building it upside down, they're going to be facing down. As long as your letters on your beams are facing outwards, you'll be fine. Now the letters match the beams, so where G is matches G, where B is matches B, and you'll see as you're doing it. So just take your time. With regards to the electrics, same again. The way they advise you to do it in the instructions is a bit nuts, because you're going to put it in the bottom and it's going to wobble because it hasn't got much support, and then trying to thread it through that hole, it's going to wobble a lot. So it's easier to go in through the top, put it on the side where it's supported, and then just fold it in. It's simple. That's my advice. You don't have to take it, but that's my advice. I just find it a lot easier to do it that way. And again, with the Tinkerbell lantern, just tiny bit of electrical tape, black electrical tape, carve your silhouette of Tinkerbell. I mean, it's readily available, the silhouette of Tinkerbell on the internet. You can find that anywhere. Shrink it down, carve it, etch it out, tiny little thing, just carve it with your thing, stick it on the back, and you will have Tinkerbell inside your lantern, if that's what you want. You don't have to have that. But that is it for this one. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're doing well with your electrics. If you have any problems with it at all, so if you put your battery in, the electrics aren't working, it's going to happen to someone. It's going to happen to someone. Then you tell Hachette yours isn't working and you want another one. It really is that simple. Because, you know, you pay a lot for this. You want stuff that works. So if you are the unfortunate one that has dodgy electrics, because it's going to happen to someone, tell them you want another one and they will send you a replacement. That is all for this one. I hope your builds are going great. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you'll join us for issue 29, where we'll be finishing the basement floor. Now I say finishing, the actual floor is finished. There is a lot to do to this basement, a hell of a lot, and I'll come into that in the next one. But allow this to dry, that's important. So allow this to dry, allow it to have its time. I'm sort of rushing through this, so I want to have a guide to do it, but allow it to dry. I'm going to give this a good chance to dry. I'm going to take the kids out for a treat this afternoon, so we'll give this time to dry. But yeah, that's where we are. So we are going to finish this one in the floor in the next one. Take your time on it, allow it to dry. If you haven't yet, please give us a like, and if you haven't yet, you've been watching but you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, be a rascal and join our merry band of marching Disney builders. We're having a lot of fun. It's a lovely community. No one bites, and everybody here is very friendly. They've all got a lot of positive suggestions on things we can do to make our builds better, and little enhancements we can take, and it's lovely hearing from all of you. It really is. If you'd like to contact us, please pop a message in the comments. If not, you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com if it's too big for a comment section or you're just a little bit shy. We do respond to everybody, so honestly there's no stupid questions. There is no stupid questions at all. I'm happy to answer anything, whether it's a simple have I done this right, or what do you recommend for this, or what's the bit. I will answer you. So please contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice, and I will see you in issue 29.